Good morning to one and all present here. Today, we Group 16 is going to present a presentation upon the topic Civil Construction and Safety. The members of these teams are Ranjit Singh, Deepak Suthar, Sunil Burdak, Piyush Bora, Desh Deepak Singh and Mridul. So what is civil construction? What is the first thing that came into your mind when you hear the word civil? Anyone? I will tell you. The first thing that came into my mind is that a group of day-to-day laborers working on a construction site or working on a dam or a tunnel. So briefly, it is about a branch of civil engineering involved with the maintenance, design and construction of both natural and physically built environments. Examples are construction of roads, railways, buildings, water reservoirs, tunnels and dams. Moving on, work performed in this industry. What is the work performed in this industry? I'll tell you. Infrastructure planning, choosing of land site, designing, commencement of work, and finishing up. The first is infrastructure planning. From making the underground waterways to sky touching buildings, the first thing is we need is to plan. And the second one is choosing of land site, of course. Third, designing. Here comes the architecture. Fourth, commencement of work. The works got started. Fifth, finishing up. So it's called finishing. Moving on. What kind of hazards they face? The hazards they face are scaffolding, exposure to occupational health hazards, lack of PPE, that is the personal protective equipment. Fourth is fire, and fifth is lack of training. So first is scaffolding. What is scaffolding? Workers in Ontario construction who mainly work on or near scaffolding are aware of hazards such as falling debris, electrocution from power lines and falls, exposure to occupational health hazards. Control of exposure to biological or chemical agents did not apply to construction projects. It is important for workers, supervisors, and employers to understand this kind of health hazard. Third, lack of personal protective equipment, that is the PPE. Employers are responsible for supplying their workers with PPE as prescribed by the law. That is come under the section OHSA section 25 and 1. Head, eyes, ears, hands must be adequately protected from falling or flying objects and sparks, dust, fragments of material. Fourth, fire. Fire safety is crucial on any construction project. With wood being used for buildings up to 6 stories tall, this becomes even more important. So, fifth point is lack of training. A key to prevent many workplace injuries is frequent and effective training programs for employees. From regular orientation and training to daily talks, make to sure everyone has the knowledge and the tools they need to work safety. So these are different types of helmets you will see on a good construction site. So basically white is for engineers, managers, supervisors and foremen. Red is for firefighters. Blue color stands for electricians, carpenters and other technical operators. Green for safety operators. Gray for site visitors. Yellow for laborers and earth moving operators. And brown for welders and workers with high heat application. Now I would like to call Deepak to carry on the presentation.
Thanks, Pius. Now I tell about safety analysis method. There are 5 methods for safety analysis. First, FMEA, failure mode and effect analysis. Second, fault tree analysis. Third, Markov method. Fourth, HAZOP or fifth, job hazard analysis. We shall discuss each of them in brief further. First, FMEA, Failure Mode and Effects Analysis, is a structured approach to discovering potential failure that may exist within the design of product or process. It was first method used in NASA in Apollo program in 1960s. NASA scientists thought if we identify all mode of failures and do work on it, then our probability of success will increase. After that, many of industries adopt this method like aerospace, automobile, software, etc. There are two broad categories of FMEA: Design FMEA and Process FMEA. Design FMEA. Design FMEA explores the possibility of product malfunctions, reduced product life and safety, and regulatory concerns. Process FMEA. It discusses failure that impact product quality, reduce reliability of process, customer dissatisfaction, and safety or environmental hazard. Why perform failure mode and effect analysis? Discovering a failure early in product development using FMEA provides the benefit of: first, multiple choice for mitigating the risk, higher capability of verification and validation of change, collaboration between design of the product and the process, lower cost solution. Now, how to perform FMEA? There are 7 steps to perform FMEA. First, FMEA pre-work and assemble the FMEA team. Second, Path 1 development, recruitment through service ranking. Path 2 development, potential causes and prevention control through occurrence ranking. Fourth, Path 3 development, testing and detection control through detection ranking. Fifth, action priority and assignment. Sixth, action taken, design review. Seventh, re-ranking RPN, risk priority number and closure. The next method for safety analysis is FTA, fault tree analysis. As product and process technology become more complex, the visual FTA approach has proven to be invaluable as a stand-alone risk technique or as supplement to failure mode and error analysis. What is fault tree analysis? Fault tree analysis is top-down deductive analysis which usually depicts a failure path or failure chain. FTA follows the concept of Boolean logic, which permits the creation of a series of statements based on true-false. When linked in a chain, their statements form a logical diagram of failure. So, how to perform FTA? There are 5 basic steps to perform FTA. First is identify the hazard. Second, obtain understanding of the system being analyzed. Third, create the fault tree. Fourth, identify the cut sheets. Fifth, mitigate the risk. Now, Sunil will tell about next method.
Thank you, Deepak, for giving me mic. Here it is another method of safety analysis, which is Markov analysis. Markov analysis is a method of analyzing the current behavior of some variable in an effort to predict the future behavior of the same variable. Usage of Markov analysis in examining and predicting the behavior of the customers in terms of their brand loyalty, their switching from one brand to another. It is a flowchart that how should Markov analysis work. These are the applications of Markov analysis. First, a model for manpower planning. Second, a model for human needs. Third, a model for assessing the behavior of stock prices. Fourth, a model for scheduling hospital admissions. Five, a model for analyzing internal manpower supply, etc. Now Mirdul will tell about next method.
HAZOP. It's another method to review a process which are taking place in a construction site. It is a systematic manner to determine whether deviations from the design or operational intent can lead to undesirable consequence. This technique can be used for continuous or batch processes and can be adopted to evaluate written procedures. Now, what are the objectives of HAZOP study? See, there are six objectives by which HAZOP study can be done. First, to check a design, then to decide whether and where to build, to decide whether to buy a piece of equipment, to obtain a list of questions to put to a supplier, to check running instructions, to improve the safety of existing facilities. These are some objectives. There are more objectives that we can talk about. Now, how HAZOP should be procedurized. First is begin with a detailed flow sheet. Choose a study node. Describe the design intent of a study node. Choose a process parameter, flow, level, temperature, pressure, etc. Apply a guide word to the process parameter to suggest possible deviations. If the deviation is applicable, determine possible causes and note any protective system. Evaluate the consequences of deviation, if any. Recommend action, what, by whom, and by when. Record all information. Now, here's a flow chart that how HAZOP should be processed. Now Ranjit will take over from here.
Middle for giving the mic to me. Here my part is to explain the job hazard analysis. It is a procedure which helps integrate accepted safety and health principles and practices into a particular task or job operation. Second point is, in job safety analysis, each basic step of the job to identify potential hazards and to recommend the safest way to do the job. Benefits of JHA Job Hazard Analysis. Here are we will showing only 4 points. The points can be more. Then I will start my points. First point, meet safety standards. It means when you are going to do a job in the future, then please uh, collect information about hazards which will be occurring in the job. Second point, improved communication. And third, create a teaching aid. Fourth one, prevent hazardous conditions. And the JHA procedure, that in which we then in which way we will do this job hazard analysis. Four basic stages in conducting a JSA job stand. Okay, JSAR. First, selecting the job to be analyzed. Second, breaking the job down in a sequence of steps. Means when are you going to do a job? First, you are seeing in the movie, there is a movie Padman. When the Akshay Kumar going to make a machine, he will making a machine and he breaks the job into 4 parts. Okay, so here selecting the job to be analyzed and breaking the job down in a sequence of steps. Identifying potential hazards. And fourth one, determining preventive measures to overcome these hazards. Thank you. Now Piyush will be continuing the presentation.
Thank you, Ranjit. Now I will conclude this presentation. What do we get? That is the conclusion. As a result, we get how they have to do. Second, what are the terms? Third, what should be the basic structure? That is the norms and regulations. Fourth, what would be the efficiency? And fifth and last, what would be the outcome? So first is how they have to do. that is, what is the procedure? Second, what are the terms? That is, the different kinds of problem they have to face. Third, how the problem have to be faced. Fourth, work can be completed in any time interval, but it should be fast and development should be sustainable. That means we should use our resources such that without compromising the needs of the future generation. And fifth and last would be the outcome, that is the fully completed work or job we wished to be completed. So that's our conclusion, and I would like to thank Dr. Subhajit Mondal. Thanks, sir, for giving us this golden opportunity to present this presentation in front of you and my fellow classmates. Huh. Thanks for the attention we deserve, and last of all.